Hi, I'm Adam Breen from Le Verre Gourmand and Thirsty, and a lot of the people that we work with wines feel quite intimidated about it, and often the service of wines or how to act in front of clients can be quite difficult for people. Now it's important to remember that whatever you're doing, you need to use the techniques and talk about the wines and interact with the wines in a way that suits your environment. But here at Le Verre Gourmand, we're very lucky to have Guillaume Masson, an ex-sommelier, and Guillaume's going to talk us through some of the techniques that people use. And the first thing, Guillaume, maybe you could help us out with is this stuff. There are lots and lots of different types of wine glass, and it's important to note that you don't have to use lots of different types of wine glass, but start us off with the champagne flute. Why is that a different shape to the others? What difference does that make to the wine that you're going to drink?
It makes another difference. So those one are more for the champagne. This one, it will have this utility more with a white wine. And this one we will use with a red wine, basically. The flute will be used for champagne, more for the bubble and to develop the aromas of the champagne.
And does that apply to other sparkling wines beyond champagne, Prosecco, Cremant?
Yes, exactly. You can use for most of the sparkling champagne.
And why is a red wine glass here then a lot bigger than the white wine glass?
Because it can develop the aromas more than the tiniest
so it's
glass
a big
like that.
bucket, and that means we can get lots of aroma into that glass.
Yeah, exactly. He opened the wine more easily than the other one.
So the little one, why would we ever use the small one?
The classic one, we'll say, for the white wine, it's tinier to keep the vivacity of the white wine, the freshness of this wine.
And to keep it cooler, is that right?
Yeah, to keep cooler, longer for the table, in the table.
So when you fill these glasses, how high would you fill these glasses with wines?
It's pretty standard. For the red wine, you will go to the widest place, and for the white wine, exactly the same, to the widest shape of this glass. For the champagne, it will be a bit higher, like 2/3 of the cup, and this one a little bit the same. Yes.
And so going back to this white wine glass, you've got less wine in there, presumably.
To keep the wine fresh and to preserve it for longer in a glass.
Wine temperature is very important for service. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yes, the white wine, for example, to be general, the white wine, the dry white wine will appreciate between 9 to 11 degrees at the table. For richer white wine, we will go to 11 to 13 degrees. For red wine, there's few difference between a red, full-bodied and lighter red wine. For the full-bodied and the richer one, like a Bordeaux or a Rhône Valley wine, you can set the wine at the table between 17 to 18 degrees. For the other one, more elegant, like the Pinot Noir, for example, for a Burgundy, you will set the wine at the table between 15 to 16 degrees.
Okay. And as a general rule, if people maybe don't have the facilities to have wines at different temperatures, is it fair to say that white wines should be served a bit above fridge temperature and red wines a bit below room temperature?
Yes, this is reasonable to if you don't have all this material.
But it's preferable to get the wines at exactly there, right, correct?
Yeah, this is always preferred.
I'm in my restaurant. I've decided I've got myself a nice wine, and I've chosen the wine from the list, and the waiter brings it over to me. What is the first thing that they should be doing with that bottle of wine?
There's few important things to do directly when you're in front of your guests at the restaurants. First thing will be important is show the label to the customer every time. This is the important thing, and I think the guests need to know the name,
They need to make sure that you brought them the right bottle of wine, right?
Yes, exactly, from first.
Okay.
And sometimes the vintage, it's important. So always show the label in front of the customer like that, and keep it like that all the way.
Okay, so let's get these glasses out of the way, Guillaume, and maybe you could show us the proper way to open a bottle of wine.
Yeah, of course. So it's pretty simple. So first step, we're gonna cut off these caps with my corkscrew. So we're gonna cut just under this little
that little rib at the
top.
The
little rib, yes, exactly, at the top of my bottle. Simple in 2 times, just one like that, and a second the other side.
And I'm always looking at that label.
Exactly,
Lovely.
like that. So we can cut off
So you scored a little line up there and you just peel it off dead easy.
Exactly.
Well done.
Always the label in front of my guest like that.
Mm-hmm.
The other step will be with the corkscrew like that, and do my corkscrew. Always be careful to not leave all the way to the cork.
So you don't want the corkscrew going all the way through the cork, but you do want it nice and far into the cork, right? So you don't rip it into.
Yes, exactly. And after go easily like that and finish with your hand like that.
So you've used that little step on the corkscrew against the top of the bottle to lever the cork out rather than wrenching it out with brute force only.
Easily. So I'm gonna smell my cork. So in this case, it's very good. And basically, the opening is finished. Mm-hmm. I will leave this sticker in front like that. I will ask to my guests who want to try the wine.
So you allow somebody at the table to try the wine to make sure, presumably, that it's not corked. Let's just talk about that quickly. What does corked mean?
Oh, corked is pretty simple. It's one of the default of the wine. Mm-hmm. So now you can find more in the market like this plastic cork or this crew caps. So you don't have basically in a young wine this default. Mm-hmm. But with the old cork like that, you can have sometime a test of moisture, a multi test.
Fungal mustiness.
Exactly. Right? Yes. Sometime like a weight cardboard test. Mm-hmm. So it's really. It's very obvious to have this test by your nose when you open a bottle.
Okay. So we're going to start the service by pouring a little bit of wine to one person and asking them to verify that the wine is good. Then is there a particular order that you would serve the rest of the table in?
Yes. So if you want to respect the basic rules to the service, the wine service, you have to respect the gentleman rules and ask. I would serve the woman in first, and go back with the guest who ordered the wine.
So we've got this nice bottle of wine open. Let's get a glass in here. And Guillaume, can you show us the perfect pour?
I will try. So I'm gonna grab my bottle. After all, present to my guest, and I will try every time to approach my customer by the right side. I will use a serviette with me to
clear up any accidental spillages.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Anytime. So I will approach my glass and pour the wine.
So you're over the right shoulder of your client. You're not touching the glass with the bottle there.
Exactly.
And at the end, that little roll up. What was that for?
Exactly. Just to control and to not just put some wine everywhere on the table. And
keeps the drips on the neck of the bottle.
Exactly.
Is there anything different then about how you would approach serving sparkling wines?
You will have different steps to open a bottle of sparkling, basically.
Okay, let's get a bottle of sparkling wine and have a look, shall we?
Sure.
Here we go. Talk us through the difference.
Like the wine, always show the secret to your guests. You will have to take off the caps too on a sparkling bottle like that. You can use your corkscrew too with the little knife. Exactly the same technique like the red or.
So you go once around the front, once around the back, so you're always showing the label to the guest.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're pulling off that foil cover from the top part of the bottle.
Yeah. Second step, I would keep the bottle basically like that, and use my other hand to open the muesli of the champagne.
Now the point where this little wire cage is loose, this bottle is now a loaded gun, right? That cork is ready to pop out if we're not careful.
Exactly. Always keep a finger on it like that, and you can leave the muesli on the bottle if you're scared about
the cork popping out.
Yeah, exactly. And use in this case for the champagne or every sparkling, it would be a bit different than a wine. That will be the bottle we will turn, and not the cork. So you will press the cork like that and move the bottle easily like that, and just waiting for this little. To open the champagne.
So rather than sending that cork flying across the room with a big pop, we're after a little.
It was always a legend to leave the cork and live and make this noise in a restaurant. But no, you just have to control the pressure to your bottle like that. And always like with the flute. So this time and as a wine still on the right shoulder to your customer, and same technique just to pour the glass. So just a little first lip.
That's because it's frothing up. You just put a little bit in, and then
Yes,
it makes
exactly.
for an easier pour afterwards.
Yes,
Okay.
it's much easier after. And just control your level.
Beautiful. I'm getting thirsty just watching.
Up.
Okay. Terrific.
That is good.
Okay, so that's sparkling wine. Let's get this stuff out of the way. One of the other things people talk about are decanting wines and also caraffing wines. Firstly, what's the
Caraffing.
difference between caraffing and decanting?
Well, this is really different. It's two actions really different on the wine. Caraffing will be with a young wine to just add some oxygen in a wine.
To bring the wine to life a little bit.
Exactly. A wine will be closed when it's young like that, when you open it at the last time at the restaurant. So you want to put and add some air with the wine to develop all the aromas.
So these are younger, fresher wines.
Yes, exactly.
And with decanting?
And decanting is a bit different, so it's mostly with the old wine. You don't want to mix all this sediment inside the wine.
So decanting is always for older wines, and it's about avoiding sediment.
It's always with the older wine, mostly with the old Burgundy, old Bordeaux. We have a lot of deposits with the year.
So can you show us then? First of all, could you show us caraffing a bottle of wine?
Yes, of course. So we'll need this carafe and we'll need a bottle of wine. So the caraffing, it's easy. You're gonna grab the carafe in one hand and the bottle in the other hand and go quite quickly to open the wine
So you're really
in a carafe.
throwing that wine in there.
Exactly.
And
You
all
need
those
this action.
bubbles, that's bringing that wine to life.
Exactly. Do that. You can sometimes leave the bottle on the table and just set the carafe on the table. Yes.
So that was how to carafe a bottle of wine. If we take that away for a second and bring in a new decanter, maybe you could show us this time how you decant
Yes,
a bottle of wine.
of course. So it will be probably the same. Only you're gonna grab the carafe like in one hand still, just to keep the control of the wine in the bottle. And so this time you will pour the bottle, but really slowly, like that, and just keep the control. Just keep the control. You don't need your wine to be open and to be just stressed by this action.
So it's nice and gentle, nice and easy.
Exactly.
Treating it like the old
Just-
lady that it is.
Exactly, it is, and just keep an eyes on the shoulder of the bottle. Okay, we arrive at the end. So you can stop here and just leave this bottle like that with all the deposits. Like that, you can appreciate your wine without all the sediments.
So you've just left a centimetre of wine in the bottom of the
Yes,
bottle
yes,
that's
yes.
holding all of that
Yes,
deposit.
and basically it will be like that with all the old bottle you can have in your cellar.
So that's a bottle of sparkling wine we've got open. That's a bottle of young, fresh wine we've got in the carafe, and that's a nice bottle of older wine that we've got in the decanter. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that lot a bit later on. Finally, a lot of people ask us questions about food and wine pairing or matching. It can often be difficult. It can often make people feel a little bit nervous to talk to their clients about the wines. What are your top tips for food and wine pairing?
There's no obligation. It's ready with the moment. I think the wine is better when it's appreciated with friends, with a good moment, at the right moment. But if in terms of food and wine matching, you can respect all the classic, I would say, and respect the balance you can have. Like you're gonna open, like for example, a wine, a tannic, full-bodied red wine. You will have to match this wine with something strong in front of
So
it.
rich, full-bodied wine need rich, full-bodied foods.
Exactly. Strong meat, red meat, cook, gibier or something ready with character in front of it.
And when you take two white wines at opposite ends of the spectrum, maybe something that's very crisp, very dry, very Sauvignon-y, for example,
Yes.
and at the other end of the scale, you take something that's much more heavily oaked, and maybe a classic Burgundy wine, for example, with lots and lots of oak. Where do you go with the food matchings for those two different styles?
it would be the opposite, exactly like the red wine, with a crispy, really acidic or something really fresh, as like a Sauvignon, fresh Sauvignon or something like that. You can go with fresh meal, the fresh salad, fresh dish from the summer season, for example. Even with some kind of cheese, with goat cheese, for example, for the Sauvignon, it's perfect. If you decide to drink a richer wine, like something more developed, something with a richer body, you can easily go with easily match with some richer food too, like a creamy sauce fish, some kind of tapas, or even some white meat sometimes.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think are good matches for rosé wines?
Rosé wine, it's really seasonal wine. So you had to match with this kind of wine with the seasonal food. But it's pretty simple. You can have this dark rosé easily with some charcuterie if you like it, or some light meat too, or go for a salad, a kind of salad, or
a spring-like dish for a spring-like wine.
Yes, exactly. Or even in aperitif, it would be perfect.
Very good. I think it's important that we stress to people that what we've covered in this section on food and wine matching, and indeed the service of wine and how to take care of bottles of wine, etc. It doesn't apply to absolutely every situation. We've gone, I think, to the extreme with our resident sommelier, and why wouldn't we? But it's important to know that what's most important is making your client feel comfortable, I think,
yes.
and reaching a level of service that's appropriate for the environment that you're working in. Guillaume, thanks very much for sharing all of your tips with us.
You're welcome.
And let's go and have a nice glass of wine.
Yeah, let's go.